With every dog I train, I follow a clear step-by-step process. Many people think training needs to be completely customized for each dog, but that's only partially true. I use the same foundational steps every time, adjusting those steps based on the individual dog. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how I begin training with any new dog, and you'll see me demonstrate each part of the process with multiple dogs. These are the foundational steps I use to build trust, engagement, and momentum right from the start. The very first thing I focus on is building a relationship with the dog. It doesn't matter whether I'm working on basic obedience, advanced off-leash training, or helping a dog with some serious behavioral issues. This is always where I start. In fact, one of the dogs in this video has resource guarding issues. Can you tell which one? Now, the dogs I'm working with in this video were all super friendly and easy to bond with. That made the process go pretty quickly.
Come on. So first thing I do with every dog is I want to build some trust. So I'm just going to sit down here and let them come up. Some dogs trust faster than others, which is good. So he's already starting to seem very comfortable. And the first thing that I do with each dog is I build a little bit of a relationship. I want the dog to trust me. That's very important. And it's great because he already trusts you. So it should be easy enough. And he's trying to get the treats in my hand. He's very gentle, which is nice. And then the next thing I do is I teach the dog what's known as markers. So a marker is just a sound that predicts a reward. This is basic classical conditioning. We make the sound, we give him the food. After enough repetitions, we make the sound, he gets excited. Now it's important to know why we use markers. There's three main reasons. Number one, to bridge the gap between the behavior and the consequence. So it's been proven that the closer the consequence is to the behavior, the stronger the connection. So if he sits and then I can give him a treat the moment he sits, it's a much stronger connection. But we can't always do that because sometimes they're not right next to us and we want to be able to communicate with the dog that what they did was a good thing. Because if he's 10 feet away and he does something I like, and then I try to go and reward him and he comes running over and then I give him the reward, now I'm rewarding him for, let's say, a recall instead of him doing a sit or down or something like that, whatever I was trying to capture. So that's number one. Number two is to pinpoint fine details in our training. Come here, Bear. Let's not smell the trash can. So let's say I was trying to get him to focus on me and he was right next to me. If he's looking at my hand and then he looks at my face, I can mark that and connect that behavior. And then the last one is to release and reward at the same time. So the first thing we're gonna do is what's known as engagement training. It's also called charging the marker. Markers are incredibly important. They're so important for dog training. I used to teach at a school for professional dog trainers. And you could tell the difference between someone's dog and how well they performed based on how well the student understood markers. So they're very, very powerful. And we want to make sure that we utilize that so we can get our dog to learn as quickly as possible. So first thing, I want him to look. And you're so cute. Do you want to use the word yes as your marker?
Sure.
Pretty simple.
Yeah.
So it's going to mean when we say yes, this is known as a termination marker or a terminal marker. It means release plus reward. So when you say it, it's gonna release him and reward him at the same time. And you see how he's getting distracted because he's hanging out with me for a little, then he gets bored and walks away. So we're gonna keep his focus once we start this. The main thing I'm gonna be doing is I want him to look at me. Once he looks at me, that's when I'm going to say yes. We want our yes to sound as consistent as possible. So you don't want yes one time and then yes the next time. You wanna be very consistent with the sound. And then you wanna have a half-second pause roughly between saying the word and giving the reward. And that's very difficult to do because what most people want to do is they want to go, yes, and that's wrong. You want to do it like this. Hey, focus you. You want to go, if he looks at me and not this person working, hey, over here, yes, and then reward. Did you see the difference? How I said the word and then delivered the reward? So this is known as overshadowing. And it's been proven, so you can look it up, overshadowing as it relates to dog training. If the word and the sound come at the exact same time, the dog focuses, if the sound and the movement come at the same time, the dog focuses on the movement. So we have to say the word before. So this is how it's gonna look. Yes. Very nice, good job. You get distracted again. This is why it's nice to start training in a very neutral environment and try to keep the leash loose. Hey. Up here, puppy. Yes. Also, it's good to switch hands. You see how I'm encouraging him to come and get the reward? Hey, puppy, puppy, puppy. Yes. and he's not conditioned yet. That's why you're not seeing any kind of excitement. It usually takes a couple days depending on the dog and depending on the distraction. See, he's getting very distracted. He's walking away. And this is kind of expected. Come here, puppy. Come here, little cutie. But the main thing is I'm teaching you guys what to do. So yes, we get him to look. We say the word. We pause for a half second. Yes. And then we follow it up with the reward. Now, how do you think we might know when the dog is classically conditioned? It's actually very easy. When we say the word before we give the puppy a reward, we see a change of behavior. This is the dog salivate, the dinner bell theory. As long as we see, yes, any change of behavior before we go to deliver the reward, that's gonna let us know that the dog is conditioned. Most common is opening their mouth, licking their lips, salivating, moving their paws in excitement. These are some key indicators that the dog is conditioned. Now, being classically conditioned is not they're conditioned or they're not, it's a spectrum. So either they can be partially conditioned, they can be very conditioned. This is why a lot of people use the analogy of charging a battery. So every time you say yes and you give them a reward, you're charging the marker is really what they call it. But if you think about it like a battery, it's a very good way to understand the charging of it. And then once 100%, it's very, very powerful. So number one, you're gonna do that exercise at home. Very short, very quick. You get him out, he looks at you, you say the marker, you move. You can say it and give it to him. You can say the marker and move back like I was doing. You can say the marker and toss a piece of food, whatever you wanna do. It means release plus reward. So randomizing and changing the reward event, from my experience, that's when we're giving them the reward, makes it more interesting for the dog. And sometimes you might give multiple rewards, meaning you might say yes and give them one, or other times say yes and give them one there, and then another one. The reason why is dogs are very good at recognizing patterns. So if every time I say yes and then I give him one reward, he'll figure that out, and we'll give him the reward and then he'll check out and do what he's doing now. He'll start smelling the ground. He's like, yeah, it's gonna be a few moments before you give me a reward. So we have to be really careful with that. All right, so again, we're having them look, and you guys want them looking at your face, right? Mm-hmm. So in the beginning, we hold the food in a direct line from the dog's face to our face, then we say the marker, yes, and then we move to give the reward, making sure that we separate the word from the actual delivery of the reward. Yes, very nice, good job. And on that one, I don't know if you could see it, but his mouth started to move a little bit. Mm-hmm. That lets us know that he's starting to become classically conditioned. Yes. Very nice. And it's okay if I toss treats, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes. Now it's okay to toss a treat, but we don't want to drop treats on accident. Mm-hmm. So if I'm doing it intentionally, it's fine, but I don't want to be handling food and then, oopsie, I dropped a piece. Now the dog's distracted. So that's, again, one of the reasons why we like to use bigger pieces that are easy to handle and easy for the dog to eat quickly. Yes. Very good. Nice job. Excellent. After we built some engagement, I move into teaching the dog to follow a basic lure. This is done without the verbal commands, just the physical cue. I want to keep it simple. I'm looking for 3 basic movements: walking forward with the lure, sitting with the lure, and laying down with the lure. So the way luring works, and your food handling was really great, by the way, is we're gonna hold the food, and I want her to maintain connection to my hand. In the beginning, I can move just to get her to walk. She thought I dropped it, good. So right there, and she's gonna be great with this. She's pushing into my hand. I want her to push in my hand to get the treat, because this is gonna make it much easier to manipulate her into different positions. The basic foundation of luring is wherever the nose goes, the butt does the opposite. So if I lift up, nose goes up, butt goes down, we gotta sit. If I turn her nose to her left, her butt will swing to her right. So it does the opposite. This is why luring is so powerful. During this step, you don't have to worry about markers or anything like that, because remember, what's the purpose of markers? Bridge the gap between behavior and consequence, pinpoint fine details in training, and release the dog. Well, we're not releasing her from anything. We don't need to bridge the gap because the reward's right in her face, and we don't have to pinpoint fine details because we're just doing basic luring. So while you do this, you can praise her when she's moving, but we want to get her to walk full. Good girl, very nice. We want to get her to understand walking and pushing into the hand is good. Now, the reason why I encouraged her with that praise there is some dogs, if we start to move the hand away, who knows, maybe the dog's thinking, oh, you don't want me to take the treat. Obviously, you're moving your hand away. So I use praise to encourage a dog when they're doing something that I want. And in this case, it's moving towards the hand. Very good, good girl, very nice. And then I'm just releasing the food as she walks towards my hand. Good, excellent. And so she's doing a great job. She's pushing into my hand. I can feel her pushing into my hand, and that's exactly what I want to see. We can do some basics. So all I want you guys to have down before the next session is walking forward, getting her to sit, and getting her to lay down. Now, laying down can sometimes be difficult. We'll see how the sit is. She seems to be doing it. If I lift, she'll sit. So we saw that, right? I lift, she sits. Very nice, super easy to do. Good girl. Excellent. So you see how she's sitting really well? Also notice I'm not saying any commands. The commands will come later. People want to start adding commands right away, and we don't want to do that until she's doing the behavior with the physical cue. So this would be an example of a physical cue, the food lure, the way that we want every single time. And there's two main reasons. Number one, there's something known as learned irrelevance. We talk all the time. If I take a dog and I'm like down, 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 sure, she eventually lays down, but do you think she was connecting that word to anything? No. She's paying attention to the food. She's not paying attention to what I'm saying. And if I say something a lot and the dog doesn't connect it to anything, they learn to ignore it. So by adding the command early before you're ready, you actually slow down the dog's learning process. So we don't add it to her ready. Also, if you want the dog to do a behavior a very specific way, and they're not quite doing it that way yet, and you name the command, there's a good chance they'll perform it in the way you don't like. So we don't put a verbal command on a behavior until we can get the dog to do it the way that we like every time. And so she's doing the down nicely. Have you guys done this with her before, the down? Cool. So she lays down, got her back up into the sit, excellent, and then walking. I mean, we could probably, she's great. We did some basic luring. Let's see how she's doing on that. Good girl, very nice, excellent. So that was good. This way, come on baby, very good. Good job. And she's doing the basic sit without a command. Very good. And then let's see how she's doing with the down.
That one I was having more problems with.
Her butt sticking up. There we go. Very good. So we're going to have her go up again. And what we're going to work on today is developing the power steering, and we're going to introduce her to leash pressure.
Okay.
And so this is our full communication system. The better we are with luring, the more conditioned they are to the marker, and the better they understand leash pressure, the easier it is to communicate. And so this is why with every dog, after I build a little bit of a relationship, which was super easy with her because she's very sweet and friendly. And that's what's nice with some dogs, you don't have to build trust. The trust is already established. It's like, just don't damage the trust.
Right.
Right? Very nice. And let's get her into down. Great. So you've done a really nice job with the luring. We got the foundational work. If I start to lure, good puppy, very nice bear. You see how he's right on my hand as he's walking forward? That's what I want. I don't want to lose the connection like that. This is going to help with the luring because wherever his cute little nose goes, his butt does the opposite. So nose goes up, butt goes down. Good boy, very good. Yes, nice. I didn't have to mark right there, but I did. Remember, bridge the gap between behavior and consequence, pinpoint fine details in our training, and the last one is to release and reward at the same time. The third one is doing something we call capturing. Capturing helps create a proactive dog, a dog that starts to realize they can make good things happen based on their behavior. So when he does things that you like, doesn't matter what it is. He sits, he lays down, he looks at you, randomly say yes, and out pop a treat.
Okay.
He'll start to realize certain behaviors can make treats magically appear.
Okay.
It helps create a proactive dog, it helps increase confidence, it gives them a sense of control, and it helps remove treats as a visual for behaviors. Very powerful.
And as always, keep it short, keep it fun. The goal is to make the dog to want to come back for more, to build a love for learning. Now, if you're finding this helpful and you want to dive deeper into my full step-by-step obedience system, I built a complete course that walks you through everything, and it's available on Sit, Stay, Learn. I'll leave a link to that in the description. So whether you're just getting started or you've been training dogs for a while, the tools are there. You just need a clear system to follow. So train with purpose, lead with clarity, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.